Don, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate you bringing Daniel with you as well. Daniel, good morning to you. Hope you're okay. How are you feeling? What is it now? 72 hours on after what arguably was one of the biggest and probably most surreal experiences of your life.
Yeah, well, first off, I'm gutted about the way it turned out. You know, I feel like I had 2 fights that night. The first one I won, and the second one, well, you guys know what happened. You know, I feel like I was robbed of the opportunity there. You know, that shot was definitely not low, and you know, we're here to prove it and here to, you know, make a case for that. How do you prove it? You know, you can see. You know, everyone can see. It's, you know, the whole world saw it. You know, he didn't grab his balls after I hit him. He just went straight down, and he was crippled by the body shot on the floor. And the referee should have counted, but in my mind, the referee was already counting that. You know, I was waiting for it 1, 2, 3, but he didn't, and I feel like I lost momentum. I became disheartened a little bit, because if what you're doing to practicing for like 12 weeks for that shot, you know, we were practicing the body shots and we pulled it off.
Don, the controversy around this all is whether the waistband shot was ruled as a low blow or legal blow. Where was you at? You had the rules meeting before that. Where was you at? What the referee said when he comes in there? If he says, right, waistband is okay, or did he say it wasn't okay?
Well, there is it was recorded. The referee came to read us the rules, go over the rules and what he expects from us. And at the end of his speech, he asked myself and Daniel, do you have any questions? Which I, as the coach, the head coach, I said, yes, I do. There's only one thing I pulled the referee up on to remind him. I said, could you please make sure that our opponent, his groin guard, it finishes on the line where it's supposed to be and not above.
Yeah.
And he could hear the referee acknowledge. He didn't contest it. He acknowledged it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And to my surprise, I'm still in shock, Spence. I'm still in shock that what we witnessed, it's not even debatable. It's not even debatable. People are testing my intelligence, everybody's intelligence. What we're seeing, they're telling us we didn't see what we're seeing. Yeah, in today's technology, no, come on.
What you saw, Dom, was subject. I'm in your camp. Right? The moment I watched it on television, I didn't go because I wasn't feeling particularly well over the weekend. But my first reaction was that wasn't a low blow. I listened to Carl Frampton say exactly the same thing instantaneously as a fighter. Yeah. And then when it went to the break for the rounds, he doubled down on the same premise. I've listened to Johnny Nelson say the same thing. I've listened to Joe Cortez be asked his opinion as a referee about the reality of these set of circumstances. I've seen a fight over the weekend between Jared Anderson and Rudenko with the exact same shots in the exact same space being repeatedly hit. Yeah. But what seems to be at debate here is the subjectivity of the referee and his approach to the circumstances. Because I saw the video where you asked him specifically, or you expressed your concerns about where Usyk puts his guard and how high that looks, and that the referee was in a strange dynamic at the time, giving you a lecture or telling you about how you should react to the environment. All that seemed a bit strange. I couldn't quite work out what all that was about and what he was making himself centre of attention. But all of that puts you into a space where it would appear that we're debating the subjectivity of a refereeing decision, because in one hand you've got a fight put on by Top Rank with a recognisable fighter in Jared Anderson, right? Repeatedly hitting Rudenko on the exact same space that Daniel hit Usyk, and there's not a peep from them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You've got an established referee in Joe Cortez that's looking at it, and he is also saying that it was one thing seeing it on television, it's another thing seeing it live. And the referee's perspective, with technology being available to him at some point, but not at that moment in time, is that perhaps he didn't have the vision that he needed to have. And what the outcome now becomes is, how can we square this particular circle? And how can, if we are indeed all in the camp, and then Carl Froch wasn't, and that may well be because he has an agenda against Frank Warren, and he doesn't want that Frank Warren to have a situation where he can get himself into a situation where he's got 2 world champions. But how do we get to a point? We've seen this before. We've seen Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas have a count that was clearly wrong, right? Yeah. And that fight would have been won, but they never overturned it. So how do we move the dial from where we are now, which I think most sensible people, besides the people that don't want to see this view, think that there's something wrong here, and that this is not the right outcome.
Well,
and we can question about why Daniel didn't jump on him straight afterwards, and we can talk about later on in the
he's
fight.
He's lost the momentum. As a fighter, he's expecting the referee to count. That's an automatic thing. The referee did no such thing. And at one point, I'm sure you saw it, where Usyk indicated that he's able to carry on. The referee said, no, take longer. It's not up to the referee to make that decision.
Yeah.
But I'll debate you on that point, because the referee's allowed to give him 5 minutes.
Correct.
And the referee gave him 3 minutes 46 because I think the referee was getting a bit concerned about where this was going.
Yeah.
I think the difficulty for the referee and for you guys is in that environment, when a circumstance like that happened, it was only going to play out the one way. Usyk was going to give him what he was given.
Not a low blow.
Yeah, I was there.
No, I agree with you, Daniel.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Let's just put it into context. Oleksandr Usyk ends up retaining his titles because of the fact that he responds after this low blow, which the referee has given. But there is a little bit of controversy here for so many different reasons. But you talk about the 3 minutes and 46 seconds that he was given to recover. Fighters allowed 5 minutes to recover if they're caught with a low blow. But usually in those circumstances, you get a point taken off you if you have been given a low blow. And that wasn't the case in this particular incident, was it?
May I also add that the referee took this from us, from my boy who's sitting there. I say my boy, I'm referring to Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
The impact it will have on him as a fighter, who knows?
Well, you have to galvanise that. You have to take that and weaponise it, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to turn that into a weapon. If you've got a sense of injustice, you turn that into a rage and you turn that into a retribution.
No, I want my team to demand a rematch.
But let me ask you the question about the point, because he makes the point. Is it categoric? Because it's the first time during the fight that there was an observation about a low blow. He hadn't been warned previously. And if it wasn't a deliberate low blow, is it mandatory for the referee in that circumstance to take a point away?
No, the referee.
No.
That's perhaps the reasons why the referee will say he didn't take a point away then, Don.
He ruled it an accidental low blow. That's exactly what he ruled it. I was there at ringside, actually. We was working on the fight for talkSPORT, and that shot and where it went in, and forget the waistband thing, and people are arguing, the waistband and below the belly button, etc., etc. That shot where it went in was right above us,
line.
and it was in the solar plexus.
But we're agreeing on that.
Yeah,
we're talking about Don's perspective about the fact that, and you mentioned it as well, that the point wasn't taken away.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a given that a point had to be taken away, even in the event of a low blow.
If it's deemed as deliberate or accidental.
So that's a red herring to suggest that it was a false dawn that the referee didn't take a point away, because if he perceived it to be an accidental low blow and it hadn't been a repeat offence, then he doesn't necessarily have to take that point away to still be in a position where it's a low blow, does he?
No, understood. But what he done there with giving Oleksandr Usyk 5 minutes to recover, which was wrong anyway, because Usyk, as we could all clearly see, was making a meal out of it, using his experience, because Daniel now has got momentum going. He sees it, and by giving him that 5 minutes, just changed Daniel and what his approach was going to be, and took the flow away from what Daniel was doing.
Correct,
for sure.
He shouldn't have been given 5 minutes. He should have been told to get up and continue the fight. And he said in an interview afterwards, Simon, that had the referee told him to get up and continue, he would have got up.
If he'd started counting, he would have got up.
But we're debating,
absolutely.
We're not debating what Usyk would have done, because we probably all know that if Usyk was told to get up or to give an account, he'd have got up, right? But the fact of the matter is, the referee has subjectively, for whatever reason, viewed it as a low blow. So you're not right, Spence. He has the right to give him 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But he didn't give him 5 minutes.
Simon,
he gave him 3, 4,
can I
6.
please add to that, right?
Yeah.
No, he says he would have got up. We assume he wouldn't have got up. I saw what I saw. The man was quaking.
Yeah.
Okay, he was in great pain from that body shot.
But he'd have been forced to get up, or he'd have been counted
They
out.
wouldn't be able physically to get up. The pain he was in. That shot is a horrible shot.
Yeah,
it cripples people. He wouldn't have made the count of 10. And had he made the count of 10, Daniel would automatically, instinctively jumped on him and concluded the fight in our favour.
I think the argument was, technically it may have been ruled a low blow because of this waistband and where it was or whatever else. But the reality was, it wasn't a low blow. It was in the solar plexus.
Okay, so what did you then make? What did you then make of the withering press conference put down about those who suggested it was a legal blow? Usyk and his team, he had a rules specialist reading off of a mobile phone the exact rule in that press conference about it being below the navel, which would be deemed as being a low blow. And he said that was a justification as to why it was ruled as a low blow. And he said that the only people that are thinking that it isn't are those from Britain. What was your
Really?
reaction to that?
No, we've had Americans, we've had all the people from HBO to other people phoning us and telling us.
There was a lot of
what
people
happened.
there as well, trust
Exactly.
me, that were saying the same thing. And
So
that,
what do you
that was
make of
his
that?
people.
Why did he come out and say that then?
What else can he do?
Because he has
Yeah.
to say that.
What else can he do?
Yeah.
That's the only thing he can do. I mean, he's not going to turn around and say fair play.
Yeah.
He hit me, and it wasn't a low blow, because ultimately he's engineered a situation
And
where
he-
he's got
He
himself.
could come out and be a little bit more magnanimous and say, actually, yeah, he did catch me, and you know what? Some people will see that as a low blow, some people won't.
then
I
he
don't
could
think
say
it.
that, but he
I
hasn't
think it
said
was.
that.
He didn't,
He's
and that's
living
what
in
I mean.
denial.
So
Wait.
what do you make of that character?
It's cheating. There's no other way of dressing it up. That is cheating.
He couldn't come out and say, "Oh yeah, it actually caught me with a good low blow," because otherwise, like Don says, he's cheated in that situation because
Let's
he's
not
gone
dress
down
it
but
up.
made
Let's
out he
not
was
dress
hit
it
low.
up. It's a cheat. Okay?
What were you doing at the time, Don? Because I want to talk to you about momentum. We'll go to the break in a second and talk about the loss of momentum, because I've got a view on it, and you'll no doubt might get
I've
cross
got-
with me. But
I've
the
got
point is this:
views on it.
what were you doing at the time when this is going on? You're seeing a situation manifesting in front of you. You instantaneously know that in your mind this is not a low blow. Usyk's making a 4-act play out of it. Are you screaming at the referee from the
Right.
corner?
I don't know if anyone captured this. I was demonstrating.
Yeah.
And I said a few things, maybe out of context. I was screaming.
He was.
I was screaming,
Because
waving.
he was-
couldn't see it on the
he
camera.
I was
going-
screaming,
yeah.
and I was then told by asked by one of the officials to sit down. I'm a very obedient person, always
Yeah.
have been. I sat down like I was told, but I was demonstrating initially because when I realized the referee wasn't going to count it, I was expecting a count. When that count didn't come, I started demonstrating. No, I said no. This is not real. This is illegal.
This is where we was at. Don was screaming from one corner. They were screaming from another corner. And the referee was listening to them and acting with them. And Don was told to sit back down. But they were getting in the ring, throwing water. They were doing it. They were losing it, yeah.
They were.